From dating to marriage, 9 years went by, and I never thought my husband would betray me. But here I am, looking like a fool. My husband had an affair with his assistant. Time and time again, he left me and our baby for her. I hate him. He's the reason we lost our baby. In our 5th year of marriage, he cheated. I accidentally saw a revealing picture sent by his assistant, Anna. In the picture, her chest was barely covered, and there were love bites on her collarbone. Do you like the new nightgown? You were so rough last time, that the marks haven't faded yet. From dating to marriage, 9 years went by, and never once did I think Jack would cheat on me. He had set up an Instagram account, just for her. Anna was his only friend on there. With trembling hands, I kept scrolling through their messages. For the past 3 months, they almost said good morning and good night to each other every day. She sweetly called him husband, and he affectionately called her baby. He hadn't called me that in a long time. He said we were an old married couple. So why be so sentimental? But I guess being sentimental with Anna was fine. The more messages I read, the more my heart ached. The tears just wouldn't stop. I remembered last Saturday, our wedding anniversary. I waited from evening until 11 p.m. By the time all the food had gone cold, he finally came home. He froze when he saw the cake. From that look, I knew he had forgotten our anniversary. I was definitely hurt by it, but he held me and explained that he was just exhausted from working overtime and forgot. I was more worried about him being tired than angry at him. But in reality, Anna had a fever that day, and he was taking care of her. It was 38 degrees, and they still ended up being intimate. I saw Anna's message from that night at midnight. We sweated a lot from the exercise in bed. It really helped with the fever. You're amazing, husband. The pain ravaged every cell in my body, to the point where I could barely breathe. When Jack came out of the bathroom, I was already in tears. He was momentarily stunned. As soon as he noticed the phone in my hand, his expression changed instantly. Lily, he walked over, trying to hug me. I shoved him off. Don't touch me. You're filthy. His eyes showed a mix of sadness and darkness. Lily, don't talk to me like that, he said, with a hint of grievance in his voice. I felt even more ridiculous and choked back the tears as I asked, aren't you filthy? The color drained from his face. I only love you, Lily. Believe me, I just got carried away. No one else could ever replace you in my heart. Carried away, I replied with a sarcastic laugh, tears streaming even harder. What were you doing on the 16th of last month, when I was in the hospital for appendicitis? His eyes showed a guilty flicker. I was on a business trip in the UK. I couldn't make it back in time. You know that. Even now, he thought he could keep lying to me. When I was on that hospital bed, all I could think about was him. Meanwhile, he was with Anna, flying from the UK to Switzerland for skiing. That private account even posted a picture that day of them kissing in the snow. The caption just said, us. Such simple words, yet they felt like a dagger to my heart, ripping me apart inside. Between me and Anna, he chose her over and over again. Yet now he says he still loves me and just got carried away. It's absurd. I was practically reduced to sobs. Jack, we've been together for 9 years. Why would you ruin our love like this? 9 years, such a long time together, and yet it came to an end like this. I asked for a divorce. Jack disagreed. At first, he tried to placate me, but my silence gradually wore down his patience. As I packed my things, getting ready to leave, he stopped me at the door, exasperated. I've already humbled myself this much. What more do you want? I said I'd cut things off with her. Why keep pushing? A tightness clenched my chest, and the tears started falling again. I choked out, nothing you do can change the fact that you cheated. Frustrated, he ran a hand through his hair, grabbed my bag, and threw it on the ground. Don't even think about divorce. With that, he slammed the door on his way out. I knelt on the floor, crying silently for a long time, before finally picking up my luggage and moving out. For the next 2 weeks, I didn't see Jack. I didn't expect Anna to ask me out for coffee. She got straight to the point, taunt in her voice. Lily, Jack doesn't love you anymore. I'm the one he loves. If you're smart, you'd step aside. I asked mockingly. Our mistress is always this brazen these days. She was unfazed and said condescendingly, in a relationship, the one not loved is the mistress. Besides, do you know what Jack likes most about me? My fingers curled involuntarily on the table. Sensing my tension, she gave a smug smile. He says he loves how free-spirited and passionate I am, fun-loving. Unlike you, like a dead fish in bed, dull and flavorless. I never imagined Jack would talk about me that way. Humiliation washed over me like a tidal wave. I was trembling all over. In a fit of rage, I slapped Anna hard across the face. You two disgust me. Anna was furious. You dare hit me? Just as she was about to come at me, Jack showed up. He grabbed Anna's wrist, displeased. "Didn't I warn you to leave Lily alone?" Saying that, Jack shoved her away. Anna fell to the ground, her head hanging low for a few seconds. When she looked up, there were tears in her eyes. She cried, "You said you'd always protect me. She hits me, and you push me for her." Jack's voice was cold. "If you hadn't harassed her, you wouldn't have been hit." Even though Jack defended me, I couldn't help but notice the concern and pity in his eyes when Anna cried. Anna shouted, "Jack, I hate you. I never want to see you again." With those words, she wiped away her tears and stormed off. Hearing those words, a trace of panic and helplessness flashed in Jack's eyes. I could see he was genuinely afraid she might ignore him. A pang of pain hit my heart, and I fought back the sting of tears, sarcastically saying, "If you can't let her go, then go after her." Jack's gaze finally landed on me. "Lily, I'm sorry. I didn't know she'd bother you. I promise this won't happen again." Just then, someone shouted from downstairs. Something happened. The girl who ran out crying got hit by a motorcycle. Jack's body stiffened abruptly. The worry and tension in his eyes were obvious. He said with a trembling voice, "Lily, Anna is my subordinate, after all. I have to go check on her since she's hurt. Wait for me, and we'll talk later." With that, he rushed out in a hurry. I hesitated for a moment and then followed. Soon, I saw him holding Anna. Her right ankle was injured, and she cried, "Aren't you ignoring me? Why did you come?" Jack sighed. "When will you stop being so reckless? Please, let me worry less about you, okay?" He was scolding her, but his tone was so filled with affection. I realized once again that he cared about her. It wasn't just a momentary thrill. He truly liked her. My heart went numb for a second, followed by overwhelming sorrow. With shaking fingers, I touched my stomach. How absurd. After discovering his affair, I found out I was pregnant. What should I do, baby? It feels like your dad has genuinely fallen for someone else. He doesn't want us anymore. 9 years. I was convinced Jack and I would grow old together. Who would have thought it would end so disgracefully? That day, I didn't wait for Jack to return. We met again 2 days later. I was at the hospital, getting an abortion, and he was there with Anna, getting her ankle checked. I fixed my gaze on him, unable to quell the ache in my heart. In the next second, Jack saw me. He let go of Anna and walked straight toward me. Anna stood at the staircase, clutching the railing, glaring at me resentfully. With concern, Jack asked, "Lily, why are you at the hospital? Are you not feeling well?" I scoffed. "You obviously don't have time to care about me." His eyes shifted slightly, and he quickly explained, "Lily, don't get me wrong. Anna is here all alone and injured. I'm just being a concerned boss. Nothing else will happen between us. You have to believe me." Should I believe him? Upon finding out I was pregnant, for a moment, I almost wanted to give him another chance for the baby's sake. I truly didn't want to let go of this child. Thinking about removing the baby from my body was unbearably painful. I wanted to keep him. Jack really liked kids too. 2 years ago, when we got a new house, Jack specifically set up a nursery in the villa. He even bought a bunch of clothes and toys for boys and girls. Back then, I teased him for being over the top. "I'm not even pregnant yet. You've already bought clothes for an 8-year-old. Aren't you afraid people will laugh at us?" He didn't care. Let them laugh. Spoiling my future kids has nothing to do with them. Regardless of my relationship with Jack, he has a right to know about the baby. I wanted to tell him I was pregnant, but suddenly, Anna screamed from the staircase, "Jack, help." Jack and I looked over at the same time, right as she fell down the stairs. It was strange. She was standing there perfectly fine. How could she fall suddenly? Jack's face turned pale instantly. "Lily, Anna might be in danger. I can't just watch her get hurt." He turned to leave. I grabbed his coat, anxiously saying, "Jack, don't go. Didn't you want to know why I'm at the hospital? You'll regret it if you leave now." But under my anxious gaze, he abandoned me again, rushing toward Anna. He said, "Lily, wait for me. I'll come back for you after settling Anna." Watching him hurriedly leave, my heart ached, nearly suffocating me. "Jack, I won't wait for you anymore." Tears streamed down my face as I gently caressed my belly. "Even though I don't want to, I have to say goodbye to you, baby. Mom loves you so much, but she can't let you be born into a messed up family. Jack, I hate you. I truly hate you. You're the one who killed our baby. You always said to wait a little longer." "Fine. I'll wait for the test results and see how horrified you'll look when I come out of surgery." After the surgery, I sat in a chair, pale, resting. Not long after, Jack called, "Lily, where are you? I'll come and be with you. Seems like Anna is out of danger." He finally finds time to care about me. My heart felt empty, and I tiredly replied, I'm at the surgery room entrance on the 6th floor. He urgently asked, "Are you really sick? How bad is it?" From his tone, he seemed genuinely concerned about me. But how would he react to the truth? I softly said, "I'm not really unwell, just a bit weak after the abortion." For a moment, Jack's breathing stopped. He was silent for a long time before asking in disbelief, "Lily, what did you say?" "I didn't hear you." I repeated clearly, I said, "I just aborted your baby." Jack soon stood in front of me. His lips moved nervously, and he said with a trembling voice, "Lily, why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? I know you're mad at me. So you lied about aborting the baby. The baby must still be here, right? Lily, I'm so happy. We finally have a kid. I'm going to be a dad." He reached for me. "Let's go home. You're pregnant, so you need to take it easy. You can't be running around everywhere now." Seeing him all dazed and fooling himself, I felt a sudden wave of satisfaction. I mocked him. "Jack, stop acting crazy. While you were busy with Anna, you lost your child. Did you hear that? Need me to say it again?" Hearing these words, he stood frozen in place, his hands hanging at his sides, couldn't stop trembling. After a while, he looked at me with teary eyes, almost desperate, questioning. "Lily, why didn't you tell me? That was our child. Who gave you the right to decide whether they lived or died? Did you ever consider how I felt?" He looked like he was about to crumble. This hysterical state was so unlike the usually composed Jack, the heir of the family. "Jack, it hurts, doesn't it? It'll hurt even more." I continued to twist the knife in his heart. "I was going to tell you, but you left me for Anna. Remember that? You said you couldn't leave her alone. I told you if you left, you'd regret it. But you still left me. Jack, you're the one to blame. You're the one who killed our baby. You're the one who killed him." Jack's body jolted. The pain in his eyes grew more and more obvious. Finally, in agony, he said, "Lily, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were pregnant. I didn't know." Suppressing the ache in my chest, I replied sarcastically, "Of course, you didn't know. You spent all your energy worrying about Anna." He tried weakly to defend himself. "I was just worried about her life and safety. I never meant to leave you, Lily." I cut him off coldly. "Jack, stop with the excuses. Is admitting you're a cheating jerk really that hard?" He almost choked, sorrowfully saying, "Lily, I've only ever loved you. I've never loved anyone else but you. Maybe our life got too dull. I just got tired of the same old routine and lost my way for a moment. I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I'm begging you. Just forgive me this once, okay?" "No way, Jack. I gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. I'm never coming back." I asked Jack for a divorce again, yet he stubbornly refused to agree. His persistence was terrifying. Even knowing it's hopeless, he still wanted to fight. In the days that followed, he crazily tried to win me back. He had his assistant deliver countless pieces of jewelry. I returned them all. The office was flooded daily with blood-red roses. I let the cleaning lady take them away. Sometimes, he'd wait outside the office building for me to leave work, but I'd always take a different path and ignore him. A new intern, clueless, asked me innocently, "Lily, Jack is like, top-notch rich and handsome. He's chasing you so hard, you really don't feel a thing." I smiled gently and shook my head. This went on for a month. When I stayed unmoved, Jack, heartbroken, got wasted outside my door. Before, seeing him like that would have hurt me, but now, all I felt was endless annoyance. I didn't even want to look at him. Turns out, not loving someone feels like this. He was so drunk, he wouldn't let go of my leg. "Lily, I can't let you go. Let's not get divorced, okay? I can't live without you." I got extremely irritated and kicked him away. "Jack, other than divorce, I have nothing else to say to you." He fell to the ground from my kick, still stubbornly holding onto my pant leg. Who would have thought that the once noble young master could be this pathetic? I coldly said, "Jack, don't be pathetic. I don't love you anymore. Stop doing these pointless things. It's really annoying." He seemed soulless, murmuring, "But I can't let you go. I really can't." I never expected Jack to cry. With red-rimmed eyes, he almost couldn't form a sentence. "Lily, we've been together for 9 years. 9 years, so many beautiful memories. Do you really want to throw them all away?" Turns out, he still remembered we'd been together for 9 years. Back then, Jack and I were only 18. At that time, Jack would turn down every girl's advance for me. All his tenderness and affection were just for me. When I'd give him a cheeky kiss at the bubble tea shop, he'd blush and push me away. "We're in public, behave yourself." Then, where no one was around, he'd kiss me until I couldn't breathe. "Will you mess with me again?" Even dizzy from his kisses, I'd stubbornly say, "I will." He'd helplessly smile, "Really can't do anything with you." Those days, Jack would stay by my bed all night. When I was sick, coaxing me to take medicine, feeding me. After graduation, when he first started in the family business, as busy as he was, he'd never forget our anniversaries. He'd prepare heartfelt surprises to make me happy. We did have many wonderful memories, but he destroyed everything with his own hands. It's precisely because I've seen how deeply he loved me. I find it even harder to forgive his betrayal. I looked at him emotionlessly, leaving no room for reconsideration. Jack, listen to me. I don't want you anymore. At that moment, the light in Jack's eyes disappeared entirely. A week later, we got our divorce papers. Just as we left the civil affairs office, we saw Anna. She looked expectant, excitedly jumping to Jack's side. Jack, congratulations on being single again. Jack's face was dark and terrifying. He pushed her hand away, coldly saying, I'm pretty sure I made it clear I've never loved you. Don't show up in front of me again. There's no way for us. Anna looked at him tearfully, but Jack didn't even spare her a glance. He quickly caught up with me, explaining, Lily, I've never contacted Anna again. I don't know why she would show up. I paused and said flatly, none of that matters to me. Jack, we're already divorced. He forced a bitter smile, dejectedly saying, yeah, you're not mine anymore. Life after the divorce was calm and simple. A month later, my boss assigned me to meet with a client company's big boss. I was a bit surprised when I saw that tall figure. Nick stopped in front of me and smiled, saying, long time no see. It really had been a long time. It's been about 5 years since graduation. Nick and I were college classmates, in the same college, but different majors. Though he seemed distant, he was incredibly handsome and from a well-off family. He was also the student council president, with countless admirers. I wasn't close with him. We were just acquaintances who acknowledged each other in passing. I heard that right after graduation, he took over his family business. I smiled as I shook his hand, saying, what a coincidence. He raised an eyebrow slightly, not really a coincidence. I didn't quite understand what he meant, and he didn't explain further. The project went along smoothly. 2 weeks later, at a dinner after the contract was signed, a colleague whispered in my ear gossiping, Nick is so annoyingly handsome, but he's so distant. It sent chills down my spine when he casually looked my way. I was surprised. Really? My colleague sighed. Absolutely. That kind of guy is meant to be admired from afar, not to mess around with. I held back my laughter and turned to look at Nick, only to find myself caught in his amber eyes. His gaze was so focused that I suddenly felt a bit out of place and quickly looked away. Even though I looked down, I could still feel his intense gaze on me. My colleague leaned in again, whispering, why does Nick keep looking at you? I had no idea. She clicked her tongue in amazement. The way he's looking at you, it's like he wants to devour you. I lightly pinched her. Don't say things like that. She stopped talking, but had a knowing smile on her face. After the dinner, while I was trying to catch a cab on the roadside, Nick's Porsche pulled up in front of me. In a low voice, he said, it's hard to get a taxi at this time. Let me give you a ride. I pointed at my phone. Thanks, Nick, but no need. I've already booked a car. He got out of the car, walked around to the passenger side, and opened the door. You've been standing here for 10 minutes. Come on, get in, I'll drive you. Refusing again would seem overly hesitant. Thanks. We didn't talk much during the ride. After saying goodbye in front of my building, I thought he'd leave. But when I went downstairs to throw out the trash, I saw him leaning against his car, smoking. His sharp profile seemed a bit softened under the dim night light. When he saw me, he immediately put out the cigarette. Sorry. I found it amusing. Why are you apologizing to me? His eyes darkened a bit. I remember you don't like the smell of smoke. How did he know that? He didn't explain, but urged me to go upstairs and rest, then drove away. Over the next month, we started interacting more frequently because of work. After one project meeting, we decided to go out for dinner. He politely pulled out a chair for me as we sat down. When it came to ordering, I said, anything is fine. He nodded, all right, I'll order then. When the waiter brought the food, I was surprised to find that everything he ordered was my favorite. I looked up, startled. Nick casually asked, what's wrong? Not to your taste. I shook my head. No, it's all my favorite. I was just curious how he knew my preferences so well. He smiled lightly. If you like it, eat more. You've gotten a lot thinner than before. I instinctively touched my cheek. Did I look terrible? Over the past months, Jack's betrayal made me lose my appetite, and I lost some weight. Nick chuckled. Not at all. You're still very pretty. I'm just worried you might get blown away by the wind, being so thin. I discovered he has a humorous side and couldn't help but laugh. He looked at me gently. It's good to see you smile. You should smile more often. You don't seem as happy as before. I sighed unconsciously. Maybe it's because a lot has happened recently. I was still in a daze. Nick suddenly got up and walked towards the white piano in the restaurant. I never knew Nick could play the piano so smoothly. After finishing a song called Blessings, I clapped until my hands hurt. Nick smiled and looked at me gently. Happy birthday, Lily. A waiter brought over a mousse cake on a cart. Miss Lily, happy birthday. This is from Mr. Nick. I was surprised, watching Nick walk slowly towards me. When I was 7, my parents divorced. They each started new families and had other kids. For many years after that, no one celebrated my birthday. Then at 18, I met Jack. At the time, Jack promised he'd be with me for every birthday for the rest of my life. Too bad he broke that promise. Lost in thought, Nick stopped in front of me. I opened my mouth in amazement. How did you know it's my birthday? Back in school, I saw your resume during campus recruitment. That was years ago. His memory was impressively good. He took out a square gift box and opened it in front of me. Inside was a dazzling gemstone necklace. Happy birthday, Lily, he said. I hope you always shine brilliantly, like this gem, in your own world. For some reason, my eyes suddenly felt warm. To be honest, the gem was stunning. I appreciated him celebrating my birthday, but the gift was really too valuable. I couldn't accept it. However, after refusing several times, Nick began to act playfully stubborn. If you don't take it, I'll throw it down the drain. I couldn't help but laugh. Nick, you're the general manager. How could you act so childishly? He pretended to be hurt. Even if I'm a general manager, giving a gift and being rejected is quite sad. Looking at his feigned helplessness, I couldn't help but laugh heartily, and he laughed along with me, flashing his neat white teeth. In the end, I accepted the gift, planning to buy something as a return gift for him over the weekend. After dinner, Nick drove me home. I didn't expect to see Jack in front of my building. Jack was leaning against his car, smoking a cigarette with a forlorn expression. There was even a birthday cake on the hood. We hadn't seen each other in a while since the divorce. When Jack saw Nick getting out of the car with me, his face darkened immediately. Lily, are you with him? It was clear he misunderstood my relationship with Nick. Nick calmly said, I am indeed pursuing her, but she hasn't agreed yet. I was taken aback. Since when was he pursuing me? I glanced at Nick. He looked down, meeting my eyes. Haven't I made it clear? Was I that oblivious? Jack suddenly grabbed my wrist, urging, Lily, don't be with another man, okay? I coolly pulled my hand away. Jack, we're already divorced. You don't have the right to interfere in who I can or cannot see. Jack's eyes were dull and lifeless as he asked, can't I get another chance? Nick let out a mocking laugh. Mr. Jack, didn't you think about this day when you were having an affair? You broke Lily's heart. How do you have the nerve to ask for her forgiveness? Anger flashed in Jack's eyes. I'm talking to my wife. Who are you to butt in? Nick sneered. Mr. Jack, mind your words. It's ex-wife. Jack's anger boiled over and he swung a punch at Nick. Nick took the hit square on, touching his bleeding lip, then swung back at Jack. Seeing the fight about to escalate, I threw my arms up, stepping between them. Jack, stop this madness. He looked at me in disbelief. Lily, how can you stand up for another man in front of me? He seemed to have forgotten that we were already divorced. I reiterated firmly, Jack, there's no going back for us. If you care about the last 9 years, stop harassing me. Your pestering only makes me despise you more. If this happens again, I'll call the police. Jack's face went pale, his eyes filled with deep sorrow. His lips moved wordlessly before he stumbled away. Nick's mouth injury was pretty noticeable. I thought for a moment and then offered, do you want to come upstairs so I can help you with that? He shook his head. No need, it's late. It wouldn't look good for you. I'll clean up at home. He always seemed to put my needs first. It touched me. Then he suddenly asked, Lily, can you reconsider our relationship? I was taken aback. He softly explained, I'm not asking you to be my girlfriend right now. I just hope you won't see me as just an old classmate or client. I want you to see me as a man who admires you. I remembered him mentioning earlier that he was interested in me. So, he really likes me. He raised an eyebrow. Why do you think I chose your company among all the bidders? This project isn't so significant that I need to personally oversee it. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have stayed this long in the city. I couldn't understand why. He was so outstanding, with countless women pining over him. He smiled slightly. I recall a trip our college took. We saw some kids flying kites, and a little girl's kite got stuck in a tree. You told her not to cry, then climbed up and got it down for her. I remember thinking you were so delicate, but there you were, so agile. After that day, I couldn't help but pay attention to you. But back then, you were with Jack. I could see you loved him a lot. I didn't want to interfere or think I could replace him. Lily, if Jack hadn't hurt you, I'd probably never tell you any of this. Turns out, Nick liked me for a long time without me knowing. Even more surprising was when Nick's assistant Joshua secretly told me Nick's Facebook nickname was Wait. Wait, I froze. Joshua chuckled. I guess you figured it out. I don't have many followers. There was one named Wait, who had followed me for 6 years, liking all my posts, but never commenting. The profile claimed to be female, so I assumed it was a girl, but it was Nick. No wonder he knew my preferences so well. He had stored every detail I shared online in his heart. Joshua sincerely said, Miss Lily, Nick is 100% genuine about you. He never wanted to disrupt your life, but now that you're single, he wants to take a chance. Lastly, Joshua joked, men like Nick, good-looking, rich, and loyal, are hard to come by. If you let him go, you'd regret it. Nick was indeed wonderful. People said he was aloof, but he was always gentle and polite with me. He'd drive me home in the dark, shield me from rain, and offer me his coat when it was chilly. He had a knack for comforting and guiding me during tough times. He was undoubtedly one of the best men one could meet. I asked myself, do I like him? I didn't know, but I was sure I didn't mind having him around. Being a general manager, Nick had responsibilities back at headquarters. After 4 months here, his father summoned him home. On the 15th day after Nick left, I realized at the roadside after work how empty I felt. I remembered a night when I dozed off in his car. He let me sleep for 2 extra hours under his jacket. Apologizing, I said, sorry, I took up your time. He took the blame. It was my fault. I couldn't bring myself to wake you. That's how considerate he was. I realized I might be starting to miss him. Restless at home, I scrolled through our chat. The last message was from the day before yesterday. He really seemed busy since he got back. I felt a wave of disappointment. I wanted to check his Twitter, but accidentally double-tapped his profile picture. I tapped my forehead. Lily, you dummy. Annoyed, I put away my phone. But less than a minute later, it chimed. It was Nick. Why aren't you asleep at midnight? Pouting, I typed, I can't sleep. He replied quickly, what's up? Something on your mind? I thought about it and cautiously asked, will you come back? The moment I clicked send, I regretted it immediately. I hurriedly hit recall, but he had already seen it. If you want to see me. I stared at the screen, my heart suddenly racing. After taking a few deep breaths, I quietly typed one word, want. He replied with a single word too, okay. Holding my phone, I unknowingly fell asleep. Early the next morning, the doorbell kept ringing. Still in a daze, I went to open the door. When I saw Nick through the peephole, I was so shocked my jaw almost hit the floor. I was instantly wide awake. I quickly washed my face and brushed my hair, then rushed back to the living room to open the door. Surprised and thrilled, I asked, why did you suddenly come back? He smiled gently, because someone said they wanted to see me. A warm blush crept up my cheeks, and I looked away, feeling a bit uncomfortable. He suddenly reached out and gently ruffled my hair. It was a familiar and natural gesture. With a teasing tone, he asked, why were you blushing? Great, now even my ears were burning. His laughter grew even more unrestrained. I shot him a sheepish glare. Stop making fun of me. He immediately raised both hands in surrender. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Mind if I crash on your couch for a bit? I was busy all night and kept working on the plane. Haven't closed my eyes at all. My heart ached, and I said apologetically, sorry, I didn't know you were so busy. I'm holding you up again. He gently patted my head. Silly, I wanted to see you. It's not your fault. Looking at his gentle eyes and brows, a warmth surged through my chest. I stepped aside to let him in. He must have been really exhausted, as he fell asleep as soon as he lay down. Considering he came straight to see me without any rest, I decided to cook him lunch to show my gratitude. But my cooking skills are terrible. The burnt smell of the food woke him up. He looked at the mess in the kitchen and laughed. Lily, are you trying to wreck your house? I was so embarrassed. I wanted to dig a hole with my toes. He chuckled and nudged me out of the kitchen. You go have fun, I'll handle this. I looked skeptical. You sure you got this? He lightly pinched my nose. Lily, what's your wording? Only then did I realize how suggestive that sounded. My face instantly turned red with embarrassment. His smile just grew wider. I never expected Nick to be such a good cook. I had a feast and barely resisted giving him a thumbs up. He gazed at me warmly. So, could you give me the chance to make you lunch for life? The sudden confession made me blush again. He chuckled. How did I never notice before that you get embarrassed so easily? I huffed lightly. How did I never notice you love teasing me so much? He took a few steps towards me, saying firmly, I'm not teasing. Every word I said is from the heart. Lily, I love you. I want to care for you forever. I want you to be happy every day. Let me handle all the annoying and tough stuff. Give me a chance to prove my love for you. His words were so sincere and earnest. I couldn't refuse. I didn't want to refuse. Blushing, I nodded. He reached out and hugged me tightly. My ear pressed against his chest. I could hear his erratic heartbeat. I couldn't help but tease him. Nick, your heart's racing a bit. His voice was low and magnetic. my heart beats only for you. This might just be the most beautiful love line ever.